Hey everybody, this is Modern Refugee in Middle-earth, and I want to do my first video on a particular character that I found a lot of interest in when I first started reading Lord of the Rings. And I'm actually going to be using my old Lord of the Rings book here as a reference guide for you guys when I discuss these different characters. And this particular character that I'm talking about is Gildor Inglorion. Now, Gildor Inglorion is the first elf that we are introduced to face-to-face that has dialogue in Lord of the Rings. Other elves are mentioned in the chapters before that, but he's the first one that we meet face-to-face, and he's the first one that the hobbits meet face-to-face on their journey and on the road. And I'm going to read a little portion of this out of here, and then I'm going to discuss it with you guys. And here it goes. Who are you, and who is your lord? Asked Frodo. I am Gildor, answered their leader, the elf who had first hailed him, Gildor Inglorion of the house of Finrod. We are exiles, and most of our kindred have long ago departed, and we too are now only tarrying for a while ere we return over the great sea. But some of our kinfolk dwell still in peace in Rivendell. Now, that doesn't sound like much, but in those couple of sentences there is just a ton of information to unpack. And Gildor was an elf of the house of Finrod. And Finrod Felagund, if you've never read any of the larger legendarium, is Galadriel's older brother. And he existed in Valinor before the destruction of the two trees, and which makes Gildor a very old elf, and maybe even an elf that's seen Valinor himself. It's never really said, or I've never really read in any of the legendarium that I read, that Gildor was in Valinor, but it could be, correctly assumed, I think, that Gildor was in Valinor, and he came to Middle-earth with Finrod, Galadriel's brother, which means he's seen all the events of the First Age, the War of Wrath. He lived in Nargothrond, and Nargothrond was the great underground kingdom that Finrod built, which means that when Frodo, Sam, and Pippin are talking to Gildor, they're literally talking to one of the oldest elves in Middle-earth. And I think this is quite profound because a lot of the ages aren't really discussed of the different characters, especially when you get into the elves. Some of the elves in the story of the Lord of the Rings are thousands and thousands of years old and have seen age after age in Middle-earth. And in just a quick reading and that quick paragraph, when you're just reading Lord of the Rings, the depth of that character is amazing to me. That the young hobbits are talking to somebody that old, and that happens to be the first person that they're talking to, and he actually sets them on the right path. And while he's not mentioned much in the rest of the book, he's very pivotal in helping the hobbits out at that particular point. But just the backstory, what he does, and that he's the first elf mentioned in The Lord of the Rings, I always thought was fascinating, and I thought he was a perfect example to discuss here for my very first video on Modern Refugee in Middle-earth. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this little chat here on one of my favorite minor characters in Lord of the Rings and in Tolkien's world in general. You guys have a good one.